Welcome to the Harmon and Hall Show. I'm Bryson Hall.
I'm Nick Harmon.
And we have a special guest with us today, Jerome the Messiah Messina.
How we doing, everybody? Glad to be here. Been listening since the beginning, and I'm a big fan, so I'm excited to see where this can go.
We're talking some sports today, like always. Always. Phil, he came back from 2+ going into round 4, and he wins. Shoots 5 under, 66 for the day, and wins it.
That's got to be like why they call him Lucky Lefty. The man is ridiculous when it comes to clutch situations.
I've been waiting for a long time for him to come back on a Sunday and pull one off like that. I mean, sometimes the guys like Westwood and, we've seen Tiger, the guys that were in the final 2 pairings, they fell off, and Phil, he capitalized, and he won his 5th major, and it was incredible to watch.
How old is he?
Good question.
He's got to be 40s.
I can't believe that he pulled it off. He was 2+.
Dusky,
He's great to
what do we
watch.
got?
I mean, there's no one more fun to watch. I mean, I remember at the Phoenix Open following him and just chanting for him. I mean, obviously he's from Arizona, so his following is a lot bigger here than other areas. But he's great to watch. He has some of the most ridiculous shots.
He's not Tiger Woods, though.
No, he's not, but he's his own version of Tiger Woods. He's a big name professional golfer. No one's Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods isn't even Tiger Woods right now. So, there was no one that did what he did. He was unbeatable. He got in everyone's head.
Dude, look, man, as far as a round is concerned, that is one of the greatest rounds in PGA Tour history. Like, Phil definitely took his game to the next level. The birdies he had, clutch.
He's great.
Very clutch. He's very calm when he wants to be. And the man has had a lot of controversy happen in his life, too, with his family life, you know?
But he's always been upfront about it. He hasn't gotten caught in any, scandals where he was caught lying about things, which you can see throughout all sports is the wrong way to go about it. I mean, we're going to get into Ryan Braun later, and if he just would have came out and said, hey, man, I was involved, like everybody should just do, because you hit a home run the next at bat and everyone's forgotten about it and they love you again.
Most definitely.
But Phil, everyone loves Phil, but he's got that monkey on his back with the U.S. Open.
He's like he's like the last of like the old school golfers, man.
Yeah, he reminds me of Gary Player.
Yeah.
Tiger definitely brought it into just like an era of dominance. It was almost like Michael Jordan started with basketball, and then every sport just had like a dominant player
to change the game.
Yeah, that just changed the influence of every sport as we know it. I mean, that's crazy to think about.
And hopefully Tiger can get back to that level.
I was just about to ask, like, when do you guys think Tiger's going to win another major?
He should have won this major, in my opinion. He was in contention, and people were coming back to him. And if he could have just hung on and made a couple birdies here or there, he could have been in contention. And you never know. When you see Tiger Woods' name near the leaderboards, everybody plays differently. And, it's a whole new ball game when his name is at the top.
Well, and this is supposed to be the game that you're supposed to be better at with age. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
before Tiger Woods came around, it was, okay, what am I going to do when I retire? I'm going to play golf.
True.
And most guys that were dominant in their era, they were older. Tiger was the only young man that came in and dominated at such a young age. I mean, we have video of him at 3 years old just doing tricks with the ball and I mean, come on, man. I mean, he was literally the Michael Jordan of golf. That's why Nike gave him so much money.
I don't know. I still think he's great. He still is the best golfer. He's still ranked number 1, which proves
that got taken away from him from a while.
But it's back. He's got it back, which means that he's still playing good. He's just not playing to the ridiculous
because it's
level.
Tiger. It's Tiger Woods. It shouldn't have been taken away from him in the first place.
Phil moved in a second. He past Rory.
Well,
Listen,
he should have been there to begin with too, man. Rory is having the meltdown.
Rory's pulling a Sergio Garcia is what I like to call it.
Yes.
It's when you become a big name golfer and you want to live your Johnny Manziel lifestyle and enjoy your life, which everyone has their right to do.
Just chilling in Dubai, loving.
But when you're a professional golfer and you have responsibilities to your sponsors and you have responsibilities to your fans to perform at the level that they expect you to, you need, you can't go out and go to Vegas for your 21st birthday and withdraw from a tournament the next weekend because you didn't feel up to it.
You were hung, Williamed.
You see what our next generation is coming to.
Well, I mean, I listened to the podcast that you guys did last week about the Johnny Manziel, and we spoke about it a little bit earlier off air about how you felt that he has the right to, live his life, which I agree he does.
Most definitely.
But, when you're a Heisman winner and you have the spotlight on you, you have responsibilities that other players don't. When he was at the bar his redshirt freshman year, I believe, and he got in the scrap and got a underage consumption, or he had the fake ID and he got in trouble, he wasn't a big name then. So it was more acceptable for him to be in a bar underage. But when you win in Heisman, you have a responsibility that you are part of a club that only the elite people in your sport are part of. And
so you were in the group that when Jordan snuck off and went and gambled while he was in the playoffs.
I don't compare Jordan to Johnny Manziel.
Why not?
Because Jordan...
He's the Heisman winner, bro.
But he's not...
Jordan was the MVP.
Well, Matt Leinart is a Heisman winner.
And Jordan didn't even have the MVP that year. It was Barkley. Barkley won MVP
the round mound
year.
to rebound.
So as far as I'm concerned, you won the Heisman Trophy award. Let's not judge the kid. He's a freshman. Let him do what he's going to do. Let him create his own legacy. Peyton Manning surpassed Joe Montana in my book, as far as I'm concerned.
100%.
So
Peyton Manning is the best quarterback ever.
So why can't Johnny Manziel be? Look, man, football is the most controversial sport when it comes to their lives, man. Their private lives. But they're rugged individuals, man. They're gladiators on the field every Sunday. Let them go out and have some fun, have some drinks, and release that tension.
And
What's
have no
wrong
problem
with that?
because
why does he need to go to Peyton Manning's camp? He's a Heisman Trophy winner.
Okay, let me answer that. My reasoning.
Did RG3 go to Peyton Manning's camp?
I don't know if he did, but I'm
did
sure
Andrew
if he
Luck
did,
go to
he
Peyton
would.
Manning's camp?
I'm sure he did.
Well,
I'm sure Luck went.
Taylor Potts, who was the quarterback at Texas Tech, and I'm a huge fan of them. This kid, he's not that great compared to even Graham Harrell or Sonny Cumbie or the new coach Cliff Kingsbury, who was the first person of Mike Leach's system. He got invited to be a counselor at Peyton Manning's football camp. Now, I think,
and it's the Manning family.
Yeah.
It's not just Peyton's.
And,
let's be fair.
And it doesn't matter if you're Taylor Potts, like I said, or you RG3. Then you should be obligated, or not obligated, but you should go with your obligations that you have. You should show up for them because it's part of being an athlete and having obligations.
Look, he made a verbal commitment to go.
That's where I'm coming from as well.
That if that's bogus on his part,
and you understand that if he was just an average player and he did this, it wouldn't have hit national media the way that it did. But because he's a Heisman winner,
it hit national media because he canceled and he got pictures taken of him at a bar. That's why it hit national media.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is it going to matter if Alabama comes into College Station this year with the 12th man and Johnny Manziel and the rest of the A&M team gigs them this year and they beat them because they beat them last year? So who's not to say that they can't beat them this year? If this kid comes in and has another year like he said, like he had last year with the records that he set for A&M football, which there have been a ton of great quarterbacks that played for them. Even Ryan Tannehill, maybe not a great name the whole time, but if he would have had 4 seasons at A&M like he did, the 2 seasons that he had, and if he didn't have to play wide receiver, Manziel is a great quarterback,
and it's a very respected university,
and they play in a great league, and they came in. This is their second year that they're going to be in the SEC, and they beat Alabama. I mean, if they beat Bama this year in College Station, and if they go undefeated, which is going to be hard to do because it's the best league in all college football, nobody's going to be talking about this. And it's just the summertime, and nobody has anything to talk about.
You're 100% right on that. If, as every scandal has shown you, if you start winning or doing well, it's forgotten about. Tiger Woods.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
Okay. Would you be more concerned about Rob Gronkowski with an infected forearm body slamming his buddies?
I love
Just
body
drunker
slamming.
than all get out.
He's a professional athlete, though. There's a difference.
Who cares, though?
He's
man?
old enough
He's
to be
such
in a bar.
huge picture to that Patriots offense. Man.
I agree, and I'm sure Bill Belichick.
These are the antics that football players have, man. Him skipping out on a football camp with the Manning family for 1 week is not that big of a deal. I'm sorry, it's not. He didn't put anybody's life in jeopardy. I mean, you're watching these guys. I mean, Plaxico Burress shoots himself in the leg, dude. Okay?
No, I agree.
In a
That's
nightclub
ridiculous.
in New York with the harshest gun laws in all of the United States, man. Like, and we're making a big deal because a freshman, the only freshman
that's
in the
why.
history, won a
He's
Heisman
underage.
Trophy
He's
award.
the Heisman Trophy winner. He's missing
Did
the
Peyton
biggest
Manning-
opportunity in his life to meet,
Did
talk
Peyton
to,
Manning
and learn from the
win-
Manning family.
But did Peyton or anybody in the Manning family win the Heisman as a rookie?
Are you saying that Johnny
Or as a
Manziel
freshman,
is
I'm sorry.
better than any
As a
Manning
freshman.
quarterback? Are you
Maybe
trying
at the
to
collegiate level, as far as that 1 year's concerned.
With
I'm
the
not saying
game,
what
the
he's
way it
done.
is
If
today?
if you go off freshman,
Yes.
Eli didn't even come off the bench when he played at Ole Miss when he was a freshman.
Do you think Johnny Manziel is going to start in the NFL?
No.
Then why this conversation is worthless? He's not going to do anything. This is all college. I mean, if AJ McCarron wins another championship this year, they may say he's the greatest college quarterback ever, and that's not necessarily the case. He's surrounded by professional athletes every year that go in the first, second, and third round
This
from
kid is
Alabama.
a freshman. He won the Heisman Trophy award.
I just want to see what happens
if
this
any
year.
look, if any player is going to in any professional sport, if any athlete in any professional sport is going to attend a full 4 years, it most likely will be football. Correct?
Sure, yes, correct.
Okay. So he's a freshman now. Say he goes in 4 years, and say he develops into a dude. He's got a
hard to
Heisman,
but
man.
he's got to grow. You don't grow 5 inches in your 20s as often as you'd like.
Keep
Doug
it.
Flutie was a short quarterback.
And I'm not saying that there aren't those type of quarterbacks out there. I mean, Drew
Do you
Brees
think
isn't the
he's more-
tallest guy out there, but
So
he's great.
his odds against Tim Tebow's odds
Of
minus
winning of two of them?
of
Winning Heisman's or playing in the NFL as a quarterback?
playing in the NFL as
I
a
would say
quarterback.
neither of them have a chance to play in the NFL as a quarterback, as a starting quarterback. They may find backup jobs either to sell tickets or just to be a backup because there aren't that many good,
And just a
reliable
quick
backups.
thought: how bad do you think Belichick is pleading with Tebow to play tight end right now?
I guarantee those conversations aren't
Gronk-
pleading.
with
It's we're
Gronk
playing
out-
you at tight end and
with
you can
Gronk
deal with
out,
it.
You're a Patriot now.
Yeah,
With
you-
Gronk out,
You want a ring? Play
and
tight
Hernandez
end.
in jail.
You know,
how bad do you think they're coming at Tim Tebow to play tight
What
end?
I love is, as you both know, our listeners may not. I am a huge Jet fan, and it's impossible to appreciate how the Patriots take our trash and turn them against the rest of the NFL. I mean, Danny Woodhead was our practice squad running back that we released, and they pick him up and utilize him all the time. And now they're taking Tebow, which obviously we're kind of happy about because I don't want to deal with Tebow and the
That was just a
ridiculousness.
joke, man.
No, it was. I mean, and I really think that it hurt Sanchez. I mean, obviously we're getting a little off topic here.
That was
but
like Rex Ryan getting into the media.
he's very into that. That's what he likes to do. I mean, to be honest, the first 2 years when he came in and we got to the AFC Championship, it was because of shock factor with a lot of the things that they did, and he inspired the team, and it's
Yeah.
not working anymore, obviously.
I don't know, man. Rex Ryan and the Jets, they're in a heap of trouble right now with Geno Smith and
You never know, though.
Mark
come on.
Sanchez. Dude, come on, man.
You
What
never
is
know
Mark
what
Sanchez
Geno's-
going to do in the league?
I think
And you
Mark Sanchez is going to be out, and Geno Smith may come in and
So you
do
think
something
Geno
awesome.
Smith is going to come in and do something awesome, but
based on the
Johnny
fact that
Football can't come in and do anything?
no, not at all. He's like 5'7".
Dude, Doug Flutie was little too, man.
But Doug Flutie wouldn't have played in today's game.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
He had a huge arm. A huge arm.
Doug Flutie.
It did take him years in the Canadian Football League to develop his game, but he came in and he played big.
Doug Flutie would not be a starting quarterback in the league today.
I
I'm sorry.
don't believe that either, but we're getting a little off topic here. Obviously, we want to make sure we cover everything.
Before we go back into the NFL, because I want to talk about that more of a structured light, Ryan Braun got Seavilled for the rest of the season without money. He's not getting paid this year, and he's suspended for the rest of the year for using PEDs, and it's just ridiculous. I'm so tired of that.
And I love that. I'm all for that and wishing that they were harsher and that
Yeah.
guys were getting Pete Rosed out of the league and out of baseball because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of tired of it, though. I'm tired of steroid talk in baseball.
Well, they need to either
Like, how long has it been going on for? Since we were children.
15 years plus, something
Since
like
we
that.
were children.
I mean, it's
man.
been going on even before then. I mean,
Exactly.
but it
Like,
wasn't
I'm
as
tired
big.
of
Abuse.
It wasn't as big until the whole McGuire and Sosa race for the home runs, and then Bonds a couple years later.
And that was when we were prime teenagers.
Yes, and that was when everybody
Yes.
loved baseball. I loved baseball then because I'll be honest, I wanted to see home runs. But the truth of the matter is it's not the same game. And if you want to
So let's
make
put
the
an
game-
ast-
I
let's
agree
put an
with that.
asterisk.
Let's make a prior to steroid baseball stats, and then let's legalize steroids and let all
let's
the
put an
guys that want to
asterisk.
do it and ruin their lives.
But there would
And-
have to be like 3 different categories at that point, because guys like Hank Aaron and Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris, the
Those were
grades that they
pre-steroid
get. Yeah,
guys.
but what about pre-steroids,
So the Sandy
steroid
Sosa
era, and is this
the
still
Mark McGwire
considered the
era.
steroid era?
Well, you would just that's the thing. I guess you are right. You'd have to put a time frame where people were using steroids when it wasn't legal in the league.
Right.
But I mean, there's no perfect answer to this.
No, and there's
You know?
not, and I'm not debating what people
Right.
should like. But it's just so confusing.
No, and it is, and it's frustrating for the hardworking guys that are getting outbeat for a major league club because they're in AAA and they're trying their ass off, and they lose to a guy who's just taking the shortcut by using steroids. And that's who I feel gets the real short end of the stick, is the guys who've been in AAA doing the right thing, grinding,
Yes.
working hard, and then a
Yes.
guy like obviously A-Rod made it on his own, but a guy like A-Rod who doesn't care about anything and just will, do the steroids to hit some more home runs, ruins it for those hardworking guys.
Well, and with this whole Ryan Braun suspension, you're seeing a time now that the players aren't backing this man.
They are.
You know
I
what
mean,
I
I
mean?
read something the other day where a pitcher actually threw at a player specifically because of a PED rumor, and he was a player that didn't want it in his game, so he took it into his own hands and threw a pitch at the guy
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, man, get it out of my game. You're ruining it for us."
All these guys that
You know.
are playing their ass off are saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, we're tired of these cheaters.
I'm tired of
they're-
it.
Look, they're as tired of it as I am, and that's just what it is. Let's get it over with. Just get these guys out of the game. Look, I understand the game of baseball, okay, but what I'm saying is, the second a guy's drug test comes up dirty, pull him. Pull him right then and there. Pull him, and until it all gets figured out, he can't play.
No,
and
I
then,
agree with that. I would go a step farther, and I know it's tough to do because of not the NFL, the MLB Players Association, but have it in every contract. I mean, if you test positive for a performance-enhancing drug that's banned from our league, you are not owed that money. I mean, most jobs make people drug test.
Well, I think Ryan Braun's going to get a lot of his money, though.
Well,
he
and
might
that's
not get paid for
unfortunate,
this
but, I mean-
for this season, but his overall contract, I think he's going to get paid money for it because it's guaranteed. It's the MLB.
I agree, but they need to do something about it because all they're doing is they're just making it. The only negative it is to these guys, I was speaking with my dad. He loves sports, and he basically the other day said the only real negative to doing steroids is the Hall of Fame. And
That's
if you're
it.
not going to get into the Hall of Fame,
Well,
why
records.
not do it
Not
to
even
get
the Hall
some
of Fame,
money?
but records.
No, not even records either, because these guys could really care less about the records. They want money.
I don't believe that.
I mean,
Ask Barry Bonds why he took steroids. He wanted that home run record more than anything, man.
That's
I agree
true.
on that. I guess that's true. But the ridiculous aspect of it is that guys they test positive for steroids, and then a year or two later they're signing multi-million-dollar contracts, and it doesn't affect them at all. And that's just baseball not caring.
Well, that's just baseball not tearing their game apart. I mean, they need to. They understand there's a certain limited amount of talent that's going to appeal to what we want to see. I mean, baseball is boring enough as it is to sit and watch 9 innings.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? You can't just. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but baseball needs to do something. They need to get it under wraps, and it needs to happen.
Another substance problem big in sports right now that's came out the past few days, former Texas A&M Aggie Von Miller, who plays for the Broncos. He's facing a possible 4-game suspension for the regular season. I don't know if he's going to be able to play in preseason or not. Usually those guys get to, but he's on ESPN today talking about it. And I don't know, that disappoints me. I hope it's not. If it's an abuse, I don't know if it's came out, if it's steroids.
It's marijuana.
Oh, it's marijuana?
Yeah, it's
oh.
marijuana. It's weed.
Well, okay.
Which is just ridiculous.
Synthetic or real?
I don't know, but it's marijuana. Regardless. I mean, the truth of the matter is you want to rip on a guy for taking steroids. I 100% agree with that. But if you want to rip on a guy for hurting himself over a season by smoking marijuana and becoming, I mean, obviously it's going to hurt his endurance and his stamina.
I don't think so.
You don't think? Okay. I mean, he does play in Denver, where you
Yeah.
know the altitude is higher and it is illegal there.
Well, that's what I'm
medically.
saying.
It is- yeah,
marijuana is legal there.
No,
And
no,
so-
not
It's
even medically.
It's just
It's
legal.
legal. If you're
Wow.
over the age of 21, you can go in and you can buy weed there. I don't know if you could
So-
smoke it outside or not, but I know you could smoke it in the privacy of your own
Yeah.
home. And
so that's
not-
just a tough situation that he's thrown into. I mean, that's throwing a fat kid in a candy store with nothing to know. I mean, geez.
I've been to Denver before. I smell a lot of doobies when I go there.
Yeah, so I just think it's unfortunate that these guys, they get in trouble for that and it hurts their career. I mean, you look at Ricky Williams with his marijuana scandals, and that really,
Dude, he was messed up in his head, man. That had nothing to do with his marijuana scandals. His mind state was just not.
he chose
right.
marijuana over the NFL, which was
Well,
humorous.
the marijuana. I don't even think he chose marijuana over the NFL. He was just not in the right state. He was like the Mike
Vince
Tyson.
Young.
He was like the Mike Tyson of the NFL.
Well-
man. Like at his prime, he was the greatest.
I think, though, a guy like that who've been looked at from the time he was in high school and maybe even earlier, junior high or his Pee Wee teams and into college on Texas, that he was really looked at as like the Superman of his team, the rock, the foundation, when, we seen when the game was based around like a running game primarily at all levels.
Yes.
And I just, with Ricky Williams, maybe it wasn't so much, he might have been a little messed up in the head, but what if he just wanted to do things for himself? And, that's one thing, that you got to take into consideration. But Von Miller, probably going to be suspended for 4 games this year, but I still like the Broncos to win the Super Bowl.
I like.
They are the strongest team in the AFC.
I like their. Yeah, I like him in the AFC.
Well, the
They're-
AFC
and
is depleted.
And it's crazy because-
that was my pick, and I brought that up to you.
Yeah.
Was the Broncos pick, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, with Baltimore depleted, New England, I think, will find a way to be there. But the Broncos favorably, and I was talking to you earlier, Bryson, what Wes Welker and Peyton Manning have the chance to literally get more completions than Tom Brady has ever had with Wes Welker.
There's a lot of
believe.
targets though that he has now.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And I mean, Welker,
Stokely.
Decker, Stokely,
Demaryius
Demaryius
Thomas.
Thomas,
Yeah, Demaryius Thomas.
and whatever running back they decide to throw in out of the backfield. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's the thing about Peyton is that he's never had a great team around him. He's had good players. He's made
always had a
players
great offensive line.
unbelievable. Of course. Well, that's a good thing. And not only that, but he's such a good timing quarterback where even if he never takes sacks. He gets the ball out of his hand very quick. He throws the ball to areas where the ball is, the player's not going to get it. He's the best.
He's calling
man.
audibles.
He is the best.
I think that this Broncos line, this offensive line that he has this year, and last year, this core group that actually the Broncos team have had for the past couple years with Claddy anchoring the line. Those are, I think that's the best group of guys that Peyton's ever been surrounded with, minus Jeff Saturday, who's the greatest center to ever play the game, in my opinion.
His whole team this year is unbelievable.
Could they beat Peyton on the Colts with?
Yes.
With Peyton, if it was if we were playing Madden and put it on a simulation or so. Oh, definitely, because there's nobody that could have covered those
with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne.
I guess that's where you would have, because the Denver secondary this year, I don't think that they're that great, but I wouldn't say that they were any worse
they've got
than
Quentin
any
Jammer too, don't they?
Yeah, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. So
Yeah,
I guess that's different because
yeah.
those guys are speedy, but I haven't seen those guys play with the nickel defense that they've put in yet. That they've been running the past year. If you were to put that on a video game and have simulate it, I
think the Broncos would win that game. Their defense was better.
But what year are we talking Colts though? Are we talking an all-time Colts team or are we talking the Super Bowl team?
I would say the Super Bowl team, which was their best defense.
It would be hard, but there were three really good defensive players on that team. Bob Sanders, who won Defensive Player of the Year that year.
Yes.
No, but he won Defensive Player of the Year that year and was awesome. Right.
Dallas Clark killed the Bears in that Super Bowl game. That's the only reason they won that Super Bowl game was because of Dallas Clark. And yes, I do know about that. It was a heartbreaker. You probably
cried that night.
I didn't cry.
Don't lie.
I didn't even drink that night.
You probably cried a little though.
Did not cry.
Well, I'm just saying it now. The Broncos are going to win. I mean, his first year they went to the AFC Championship and should have won if their defense wasn't stupid. Are you kidding? That was like a Madden Hail Mary bomb with 2 seconds left.
That game was ridiculous.
That was ridiculous. All of us have to agree that the Broncos should have won that game.
Yes.
I mean, come on. So
Hands
I would
down.
say that with another training camp and mini camp and off season under his belt to work with his receivers and get his timing down and everything else, he's going to be better. So
look, I'm almost willing to say that loss was more devastating than any Tom Brady loss that Peyton Manning ever had, because that game was won. It was in the bag, and there was the coverage just slipped.
No, yeah,
the coverage
it was just
slipped.
ridiculous. Yeah, it's unfortunate because Peyton probably sat there and watched it happen and said, "Wow, man, I can't believe that we just lost that after."
Yeah,
I just came to this town and just said, "Let's go."
Well, that game.
First year with this team, and that how we judge Peyton Manning on such a different scale than any other quarterback. Because it's
he's the
Tim
smartest
Tebow.
ever.
Tim Tebow won a playoff game with him and then got annihilated against the Patriots. I'm not saying Tim Tebow is not better than Peyton Manning.
No, and there's that funny stat that you always like to say.
Of course,
Tim
because
Tebow has
I love
won
Tim
more
Tebow though.
Playoff games for the Broncos
Just
than
because
Peyton Manning.
Yeah. I love Tebow, but to move on from that,
will be gone this year.
Oh, 100%, dude, 100%, because they're gonna win. They're gonna win 3 in a row and win. They're gonna clinch the first or the second seed.
Yeah.
They're gonna win the divisional.
Yeah, and they should. They should. Depending on. Obviously, you never know in the NFL. That's why the NFL is the greatest league on the planet, because any team could beat any team ever. The Cardinals were in a Super Bowl less than 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
That team was good though.
2008.
I understand that they were good, but in the regular
Warner,
season of that season, they were not at all expected to be where they ended up.
Look, Kurt Warner was a beast that year.
Listen, Kurt Warner has
With
always
Larry
been a beast.
Fitz and Anquan Bolden.
Listen,
that team.
and then Santonio Holmes just had to ruin our lives and our hopes and dreams with his 1 foot catch, which wasn't even two.
that fumble recovery.
Oh, that at the beginning of half, or at the end of the first half.
It was an
James
interception.
Harrison- No, it was an interception.
It was an
like a
interception.
90
That's the longest
Yes.
defensive play in Super Bowl
Harrison.
history.
Oh my god,
Dude, there were so many blocks in the back on that too.
Well, did you see Fitz on the
He was there.
sideline?
he
He ran
runs
the whole
out of
way
bounds
down.
and runs back in.
Yeah, and he was still the first guy to him.
Yeah.
Speaking of Fitz, he's
Playing
got
with
a new quarterback.
Carson Palmer. It's the first time we talked about the Cardinals this year. I think that
I'm excited, man. And I'm not a huge Cardinals fan, but I'm excited when I am stuck at home on a Sunday because I didn't get NFL Sunday ticket and I have to watch the Cardinals get crushed by the 49ers or get crushed by the Seahawks or whoever they get crushed
Or
by.
get crushed by the Rams even.
They will be getting crushed with at least a decent quarterback to kind of come back and win the game at the end because that's his MO. I mean, in Oakland, they got crushed for the first 3 quarters, and then he put the team on his back and tried to win it in the 4th.
I don't think Arizona's going to get crushed like Oakland, though.
They've been.
Oakland has
hopefully not.
Oakland has no organization amongst them, though, man. Like none. Arizona has, I believe, good ownership. They understand what they want to do. They have a top 5 receiver in the league. They picked up, I wouldn't say a great quarterback, but
They
a
picked
proven
up
one.
a big improvement in the position.
Yes.
A big improvement.
The best quarterback that they've had since Kurt Warner, yes.
Right.
Let's see what they do with it.
Well, and that's the thing is it's always been it's up to the offensive line, which has never been a Cardinals strong suit
Never.
ever. And their running game. I mean, they picked up Rashard Mendenhall from the Steelers, so let's see what he can do. I mean, he's kind of on the back end of his career.
Look, he was an Illinois boy. He was a great college ball player. I don't think he's any better than Beanie Wells was, to tell you the truth.
Beanie Wells.
Injury-wise.
I served him at Brio once.
But injury-wise, I mean, really, Mendenhall hasn't.
No. And the thing is no running back can do anything with the offensive line that the Cardinals have.
That's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the defense is always solid. The Cardinals' defense is always solid. That's why they're not always getting blown out, I guess. But, you know, Patrick Peterson, I always love seeing him out there. He's entertaining as all hell.
He's so great.
He's so entertaining to watch.
I just want to see the Badger.
Yeah, and that's a big story, too. I mean, is he going to be able to do what he did in college? Is he going to be able to keep his head on the straight and narrow?
Let's
Because
see.
he is a
It
prime
seems like
example of what could go bad in the NFL. He could
Well,
get some money
his
and
whole
Vince Young it.
Yeah, his whole deal revolves around his drug use.
Well,
Yeah.
I hope that, I mean, Patrick Peterson went to college with him, and I hope
That connection.
Yeah.
I think that Patrick Peterson was a big
Reason why they
influence
brought
of
him here.
why they
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
him here.
Well, Doug and Wolf, that's exactly why. Doug
Like,
and Wolf
vouched
were
for
saying
him.
that they're drug testing him like 3 times a week, man.
And-
like, if not more.
Wow.
Doug and Wolf is our local radio station.
Yeah, the local
here. They are
Arizona
great.
radio
We'll
station
give them a shout out
on
because they
ESPN.
are 620
Can
KTAR.
can I get a quick impression?
Do you want my Doug Wolf or my Ron Wolfley?
Yeah. I
When he
want
goes
it.
beast
Yeah,
mode.
Yeah, give it to us.
Are you talking to me, Dwight Howard?
Yeah. The guy is great.
I love him because he gives you the football mindset. He
Yeah.
goes into everything with a big Viking
Well,
mentality.
he was what was he, a fullback or a tight end when he played?
I
for
thought
the
he was
Cardinals?
a lineman.
Nah, he's a lineman.
I thought he was an offensive lineman.
No,
Yep.
I'm telling you, man. He always talks about running the ball. I'm telling
Maybe
you,
that's in
man.
his backyard games
He-
with his children.
It might have
You,
been.
you know who's not going to be running the ball a lot this year? RG3, I don't think. He's going to be staying in the pocket. He's not even starting preseason this year
Yeah,
at
but
all.
that's-
None. No games. No, it matters.
It does matter, but I think that the main reason as to why they're doing that is because they don't want to risk anything for a stupid preseason game. As we can all agree, the preseason is a waste of time. We would rather just have them extend the season 2 more games and get rid of the preseason. I know that's tougher on the players, and the players don't want to do it, but, you know, no one wants to watch the 3rd string play the 4th string. No one wants to see that. And RG3 is going to be entertaining regardless, so just wait until he's fully recovered and completely confident. So, you know, the slightest move could hurt his knee again.
Oh.
And that's really why they're concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, last year he hurt it, and
In
then
January.
and then he did the slightest move to pick up that fumble, and it's
He's-
gone. And it's gone.
He's so fast though.
And it's gone.
Don't you think? Look, with Adrian
He's not going to
Peterson,
be as fast.
Look, with Adrian Peterson coming back from his knee injury at his age, you don't think it's possible for RG3 to come back, Mr. Track Superstar?
Is it possible? Yes. Is it going to happen? No. Adrian Peterson is a freak of nature. There's not a lot of guys that could do what Adrian Peterson does.
We're not gonna see RG3.
RG3 isn't as built as Adrian Peterson is. He
Yeah,
can't
he's nowhere
handle
near as big.
a hit. He takes some. We
6'3",
were watching
But dude,
highlights.
it's your legs.
I
man.
agree, but
it doesn't even matter how
but
big
it's also
you are.
your
It's
intelligence
legs.
and where you
It's
put
your
yourself in the
tendons.
situation.
It's your knees.
But
It's your,
me and Bryson were watching a highlight reel of him the other day from hits that he took last season. And he's jumping in between two 280-pound guys that are just sandwiching him. You're not going to last in this league like that, man.
Well, and as I've said, man,
That's
he's either a freak of nature or
He's not a freak of
on
nature.
That's
PEDs.
no.
No, I'm talking about RG3.
Oh,
Are you talking
okay.
about
I'm talking
Peterson?
Yeah.
I don't think Peterson's on PEDs.
I would hate to think that he is too, but I would not be surprised if in 5 years
what
from
I was
now,
talking about
we
was
get
the
news that
highlight
he
reel of
is.
RG3 just taking ridiculous hits, and that's his problem, is that he thinks he's out in Baylor running down these college. No, you're not, man.
Yeah, he's
you're not
that's-
trying to outrun me.
that's-
You'll beat me to the end zone, man. But you're not gonna.
But that's what a rookie does, man. He's
And
going
now
to
they have
test the
film on him.
waters.
I mean,
I think he's still gonna run, man.
Well-
do I think he's gonna do so as much? No, because Cam Newton didn't even run as much.
but that's the same style.
But
You
Cam
know what
could
I mean?
take a
Cam's a
hit
lot
like
bigger.
that.
He's a built.
Cam had a
Ham.
worse
Ham.
sophomore year than he did
That's because
a
it's-
freshman year.
But that's watch RG3 this year. I guarantee you that there will be less
watch that
highlight
division.
reel moves that he does.
Watch that division.
They're
this year.
gonna see. They have film on him now. They're gonna know what to do to stop him. I mean, it's a copycat league as well. So as soon as the first game comes out where the defense stops him, the next team that plays him is gonna do the same thing. That's how the NFL operates.
I hear you.
Copycat league.
Yeah,
But I think he can reinvent himself, and I think another man that's
but
reinventing
it's
himself.
also in his brain though, because he's got to be confident that he's not gonna re-injure himself. You know.
Look, dude, it's a knee injury, man.
Yeah, but it's his. It's
Adrian
like his-
Peterson tore his ACL. Derrick Rose tore his ACL. Robert Griffin's injury, as far as I know,
All operated
wasn't
on by the
even
same
that-
doctor.
Wasn't even that serious.
James Andrews.
Which just proves that Peterson is just a messiah of recovering.
yeah.
Well,
I mean, or he's doing PEDs, which
Maybe he has a really good hyperbaric sleep chamber.
maybe him and Michael Jackson hung out back in the day and they got the same one. You know,
Maybe.
who knows?
who knows?
But
dude?
the truth of the matter is that when it comes, I'm sorry, the Michael Jackson statement threw me off there.
That's pretty twisted.
Well,
Come on.
Jamona. Sorry.
That's so terrible.
But no, you were talking about Derrick Rose, and it's unfortunate that he hasn't came back yet. I mean, they cleared him last year, and I really think, and I know we're gonna start arguing here because you're the messiah of Chicago, but I just feel that he could have came back in the playoffs or at the end of
Why
the season,
come
and he
back?
didn't want to because he's like, we're not gonna beat the Heat, so why?
But
do
that's
it?
exactly my point. Is why that was my argument to the start. It doesn't matter if he comes back. That squad was
'Cause they're still
not
gonna lose
going
to the Heat.
beat the
Is that
Miami
your-
Heat.
okay, I love
so
it, 'cause I'm a Heat fan.
So
Not
why?
Not two, maybe not three. If they can stay
Jesus.
together long enough.
You're terrible. Dude.
I am terrible, but I love the Heat because LeBron is a great advocate of the game.
Look, he is
And
the
he's
best basketball
awesome,
player in the
man.
game today.
He's
I will give
awesome.
you that. I will give you that.
And do you think he's leaving? I know this
But
is off
Derrick
topic
Rose
again,
says
but
otherwise.
Is he staying in Miami when they go free agent in a couple years or 2 years? I think it is.
100%.
He's staying, right?
He's
I mean,
a free
people are
agent after
talking-
next year.
Okay. Well, people are talking
Well, he's
about
got
him
a
maybe
player
going
option.
back to Cleveland, and I don't think that's even in his mind. To be honest, I mean, he's on the beach right now enjoying the Miami
But
weather. He doesn't want to go back to gunshots.
Let's be
and-
realistic. He's going to need people
Cleveland's hood.
around him. He's not going to stay in Miami
That was for Tony.
if they're not winning.
No,
You know what I mean?
But come
Like
on.
he's not.
Every year they've improved.
I wouldn't say that at all.
Personnel wise,
I think they downgraded this year compared to last year.
Ray Allen is a downgrade.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, that's really the only big change that
They
they made.
they
Birdman
bettered
anchoring the.
they
But he
bettered
didn't really play much.
they
He just
bettered
came
their
in randomly
3-point
to get
shooting.
some
Yeah,
energy.
Birdman didn't do shit. They bettered their 3-point shooting. Look, man, when it comes down to it, they've got LeBron James on their team, and they've got Dwayne Wade, who, when he wants to play serious basketball,
Great point. When he wants to play serious.
and is healthy and
Healthy,
feeling
yeah.
well,
They're unstoppable.
they're unstoppable. Look, man,
They're an
hands
all-star
down.
team, man.
Okay, let's take a look at shooting guards in the league in the NBA real quick.
Okay.
Who's number one?
Who's the best shooting guard?
The best shooting guard in
Stephen
the
Curry?
NBA right now.
Stephen Curry?
He's their point guard.
Well, he's
Just because
Then
he
who
shoots
is
the
he?
ball. Look, man, a pure two guard that's starting.
Do you consider Ray Allen still there? Because I mean, I love Ray Allen. He hits clutch threes all the time.
But all around, he can't slash to the hoop. He doesn't do it. Look, man, my point is the best probably two guards in the league is between James Harden and Dwayne Wade right now.
Okay.
The best natural two guards in the NBA. Dwayne Wade is on the downfall of his career, man.
Yeah, he definitely is on the tail end.
And
of his
Chris
career.
Bosh is. It doesn't matter who you have playing a big man as long as he can clog the lane, and they'd probably be better off with the defensive power forward who could rebound the ball.
That is true.
Nice add in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I was
That is
listening to you guys.
true.
I was listening to you guys talk basketball.
Yeah, we got off a little topic there. I apologize.
Yeah. This weekend we got NASCAR at Indianapolis, and Jimmy Johnson won last week. Me and Nick still have that bet going on.
The Brickyard. You know my buddy's going to that race.
That's awesome.
Said he's third row on the inside of the track.
I got Kevin Harvick winning
How many
that race.
lefts is he going to witness there?
I don't know, man.
Well, it's a 2.5 mile track.
Depends on how much beer
200
he
and-
can bring in with him.
250 lefts, or no? Well, you have to.
Is Ricky Bobby
Not that great
driving
at
this
math.
weekend?
No,
I'm
he's
sorry,
not.
but this is where my comic relief is going to come in because I have absolutely no idea what goes on in NASCAR.
drive
You just
fast,
drive
turn
fast
left.
and
I
turn
mean,
left.
if you're
And
not
turn left
if
and
you're not
right two
first, you're
times out of the
last.
year, yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
That's
All
it,
right,
dude.
shake and bake.
That's it.
Jimmy Johnson's first going into the point.
Jimmy's the greatest.
I just know he
at
wins
driving
every.
fast and turning
I
left.
watch a lot of ESPN and I don't
Yeah.
really zone into the NASCAR stuff,
you
but I
know
see
who
him
Jimmy Johnson
all the
is.
time.
Well, you always see him at the first of the.
Yeah.
Well, Brad
'Cause he's-
Keselowski.
you know,
This
'cause he's
time.
Oh
the-
yeah,
he's the
guy
Michael
that
Jordan of
drank the
racing.
beer.
Keselowski.
That guy
was
is
just
awesome.
blacked out.
He's hilarious. He doesn't
He's
care.
blackout drunk.
Yeah.
On
Well,
He's a good
TV.
face for NASCAR too
He's
because
had
he
some controversy
I know.
earlier.
He was
in
drinking
the
that
year, man.
huge. He was specifically
Yeah.
drinking it so, like on camera.
Yeah.
Like, hey, check this out. I'm on a live feed from ESPN, and I'm chugging a Das Boot
Well,
from Beer
he's-
Fest filled with beer, and I'm just on ESPN live.
He's also had public statements about Danica Patrick and her boyfriend. What's her boyfriend's name?
Ricky Stenhouse
yeah,
Jr.
Ricky Stenhouse. Yeah, like he vocally
Dude,
got
that's where I
on
like when
and-
NASCAR gets to like WWE style, where people are like
Yeah.
talking trash at the podium
Yeah.
to each other or throwing helmets at each other on the track.
It'd be
That's when
great,
it's cool.
Like if a steel chair.
Yeah,
like, came
I mean,
into
guys
play.
should add. They should have weapons on their cars,
like Death Race.
yeah, or like Grease when he had.
Well,
like,
that's
that,
what I said the other
when he
night.
like
dude.
run
Like,
into the car.
that dirt track, man.
Yeah,
Like that would have been great if this is what I said.
Mud
let's
Summer
have
Classic?
let's have one NASCAR Destruction Derby and just let them have like
That would be
like
great.
crazy weapons on their vehicles. You know what I mean?
I'm ready.
People with weapons, though.
I would drive in
Aaron
that.
Hernandez has
Aaron-
weapons.
Oh, we're back. Oh, right. Aaron
Right.
Hernandez has a lot of weapons. What an idiot.
Well, he's kind of in jail. He
What
might
an
have like
idiot.
a toothbrush shank right now or something. I don't know that he has a bunch of weapons now, but he looks like he might be holding on to that toothbrush for dear life here for the rest of his
I
life.
hope he doesn't drop the soap. That's all I have to say because I'm sure that his
As a football player, though, you think he'd be able to hold his own against most of those guys.
yeah, but I'm sure he has connections in there. If he's really as gang
Well, he's a blood.
affiliated as he
He's a
claimed
blood.
to be,
It's tattooed on his hand.
yeah,
dude. He's
he'll
a blood.
show up. They'll fill it. You'll show him to the blood section, and he'll just hang out in jail with his own people.
Yeah.
You know, with his own crew, and then he'll run Hearts games there and
Yeah,
poker
or
and
dunk
sell
at
cigarettes.
basketball games.
Who knows? I'm
He'll
sure he'll
pro-
be fine in
I'm
there.
pretty
He'll
sure
fit
he'll
right
have
in.
like a hot plate.
He'll fit right in. His last name's Hernandez.
Wouldn't it be cool if they had like a
He'll
longest
probably
yard?
be able to cook himself quesadillas, man.
What if he
I'm
was?
guessing.
Sure he will.
What if he was on
some
like the mass?
tortillas. He's got a lot of money, dude.
What
He's
if he-
probably got personal shoppers.
What if
I'm
he was on
sorry.
like the Massachusetts like corrections facility like football team against the guards?
Yeah.
What is this,
Like,
longest
longest
yeah,
yard.
longest yard. Yeah, definitely. Dude.
Adam Sandler shows up. Peter
Yeah.
Crew, Paul Crew, that was his name, right?
Definitely, dude.
The big Khali was in
What
that.
now? They would have to transfer. They would have to transfer OJ or him, vice versa.
He had a parole hearing today, so we could see OJ back on, maybe a longest yard team here pretty soon.
Dude, I saw OJ on the National
If he doesn't
Enquirer
get
the
out.
other day when I was at the grocery store, and it said he's trying to commit suicide.
If you have any questions or comments, send us an email at harmonandhallshow@gmail.com. We'll definitely be happy to answer your question and read it on our broadcast. Check us out on YouTube, Harmon and Hall Show. You could also check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/Harmon and Hall Show. And that's our show for the week. Big ups to Jerry for showing up and
Jerome.
Big
Thank
ups.
you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. I will definitely keep my eyes posted for all your videos and get the word out as much as I can.
We appreciate it, brother.
And share us on Facebook if you like us. If you don't, well, then keep listening to us. Maybe
You'll like us eventually.
We'll grow on you.
If not, you will hate us, and we love all sorts of fans.
Well, for Jerry Messina, Nick Harmon, I'm Bryson Hall, Harmon and Hall Show. Like I said, check us out YouTube, Facebook, Harmon and Hall Show. We are out.
We're out.
See ya.